When word first began to circulate that Manny Pacquiao was considering a return to professional boxing at the age of 46, the reaction was swift and, for the most part, skeptical. The notion that the Filipino boxing icon, once one of the fastest and most feared fighters on the planet, could still compete at the world championship level sparked more concern than excitement among fans and experts alike. After all, it had been years since Pacquiao's last real challenge in the ring, and though he had dipped his toes back into the sport through lighthearted exhibition bouts, no one seriously expected a full-fledged comeback. But then the rumor became reality. Not only would Pacquiao be returning to professional boxing, he would be doing so in a legitimate title fight. It was the kind of announcement that turned heads around the world. The opponent, Mario Barrios, a strong, youthful, and active champion currently holding the WBC welterweight belt. Barrios isn't just younger by over 15 years, he's been active, sharp, and dangerous. He now finds himself in a situation that many describe as beating a 46-year-old, even one as legendary as Pacquiao, won't earn him the praise a win typically brings. But losing to a man who many believe is well past his physical prime could haunt his reputation for years to come. Barrios is fully aware of this dynamic. He didn't ask for this matchup. He didn't campaign to be the man standing across from one of the most iconic boxers in the sport's history. But as champion, he must face whoever is placed in front of him, and this time, it's Pacquiao. Regardless of how history might remember this fight, Barrios is tasked with defending his title in what is quickly becoming one of the most talked about bouts of the year. At first glance, this fight looked like a formality. Analysts, odds, and casual fans alike saw it as an uneven matchup. Barrios was younger, more active, and less weathered. Pacquiao, on the other hand, hadn't fought since his 2021 loss to Ugasen hadn't won a bout since 2019. He was 4 years older than the last time he stepped into a professional ring, and in a division where speed and endurance are paramount, that seemed like an insurmountable gap. The betting odds reflected this narrative. According to FanDuel Sportsbook, Pacquiao opened as a heavy underdog, with odds sitting at 47-10, just 2 months before the fight. Yet, in an unexpected twist, those odds have begun to shift. Now, as the bout draws closer, Pacquiao's odds have narrowed significantly. From 47/10ths, they've tightened to 27/10ths, a movement that has surprised many in the industry. Barrios remains the favorite, but the confidence surrounding his victory isn't as overwhelming as it once was. Something is clearly changing, and much of that change can be traced back to Pacquiao himself. Videos from his training camp have begun to surface, and the boxing world is taking notice. Despite being in his mid-40s, Pacquiao has looked lean, strong, and perhaps most notably fastos. His footwork still carries the rhythm that made him so dangerous in his prime, and his punching combinations are landing with speed that belies his age. Of course, training footage doesn't always translate into in-ring performance. Hitting mitts in a gym is a far cry from facing a live, younger opponent under the pressure of bright lights and an anxious crowd. Still, fans can't help but feel a flicker of hope. There's something about Pacquiao that defies logic. Throughout his career, he's been the kind of fighter who has thrived in the face of doubt. He fought and defeated men who were naturally bigger. He moved through weight classes like few others in the history of the sport. His bouts weren't just wins, they were spectacles. He knocked down giants, he took on legends, he entertained, he dazzled, and he inspired. That legacy, that aura, is hard to ignore. It's part of the reason fans continue to rally behind him, even now. But nostalgia can only carry a fighter so far. This time, Pacquiao isn't just stepping into the ring to entertain, he's stepping in with the intention to win. He knows the challenge that Barrios presents. The 30-year-old champion is no pushover. Barrios is known for his toughness, volume punching, and ring awareness. He has the kind of conditioning that allows him to keep up a fast pace for all 12 rounds. Against a 46-year-old opponent, those traits can be even more dangerous. The longer the fight goes, the more the advantage shifts to Barrios, at least on paper. Still, the betting public seems to think otherwise. The shift in odds indicates that more money is coming in on Pacquiao than originally anticipated. That's not just about fan love, it's a sign that people are seeing something in the Filipinos' preparation that gives them reason to believe. Perhaps it's the sharpness in his training sessions. Maybe it's his history of pulling off unlikely victories. Or perhaps it's a belief that he has one. Last night of greatness left in him, Pacquiao's appeal has always gone beyond the ropes. He isn't just admired for his boxing abilities, but also for his humility, generosity, and conduct both inside and outside the sport. He's one of the few fighters who has transitioned into public service, becoming a senator in the Philippines and continuing to serve his people. His life story, rising from poverty to global superstardom, has turned him into a national hero and an international symbol of hope and perseverance. That emotional connection, the bond he shares with fans, is unlike anything most athletes ever experience. That's part of what makes this fight so captivating. To some, Pacquiao's comeback might seem reckless. To others, it's courageous. It's the kind of move only a fighter like Manny could make believable. While some boxing comebacks feel forced or financial, Pacquiao's return feels rooted in competitiveness and pride. He isn't chasing relevance, he's chasing excellence. And in doing so, he's taking one of the biggest risks of his career. As the spotlight intensifies, so too does the pressure on both fighters. For Manny Pacquiao, this fight carries more than just the weight of a title. It holds the question of legacy, already considered one of the all-time greats. The only boxer to win world titles in 8 different weight divisions. Pacquiao's reputation is secure in the history books. But this return, against a much younger, faster opponent, tests more than his skills. It tests how the public will remember him. If he's defeated soundly, critics will say he stayed too long. But if he wins, it may go down as one of the most astonishing feats ever pulled off in the sport. And while Barrios remains the favorite, he's not walking into this bout without pressure of his own. Despite being the champion, the narrative of the event revolves almost entirely around Pacquiao. Barrios is expected to win and win clearly. Anything less, and the conversation afterward will focus not on his performance, but on what Pacquiao did or didn't do. Even if Barrios scores a decision win, if it's not dominant, it will leave room for debate. That's the risk in facing a legend. You may win the fight, but lose the moment. That said, Barrios has made it clear he's taking this fight seriously. His training camp has ramped up in intensity, and by all accounts, he's focused on executing a disciplined game plan. He understands that Pacquiao, regardless of age, is still dangerous. The former champion's ability to close distance, throw rapid-fire combinations, and create chaos in the ring can catch any fighter off guard, especially if they underestimate him. Barrios doesn't intend to fall into that trap. He knows that if he lets Pacquiao dictate the pace early, the crowd will turn. The energy will shift, and momentum could escape him. The energy surrounding the bout is already building. As media coverage expands and fans begin placing their bets, the storyline is evolving. What once looked like a routine title defense has taken on the feel of a high-stakes showdown. Veteran commentators are weighing in with mixed opinions. Some say Barrios will be too fresh and too quick, while others insist that Pacquiao's experience and ring IQ could allow him to turn back the clock at least for one night. That split opinion is what's making the bout so compelling. It no longer feels like a foregone conclusion. On social media, fan communities are buzzing with predictions and emotional tributes. For longtime followers of Pacquiao's career, this fight is about more than sport. It's a chance to see their hero in action again. To experience that electric moment when he makes his signature ring entrance. Fists raised, eyes focused. For younger fans discovering him for the first time, it's a chance to witness a fighter whose story has transcended generations. Win or lose, many know this could be the last time they see Pacquiao in a professional ring, and that makes every moment feel historic. Pacquiao himself has not leaned heavily into retirement talk during the build-up. While he's acknowledged the physical challenge ahead and the difference in age, he's remained focused on what he can control. His statements to the press have been measured, humble, and determined. He isn't making wild promises. Instead, he's talking about preparation, discipline, and the chance to prove something to himself, to his fans, and to the sport. That attitude, grounded and quietly confident, has been part of what makes this return feel sincere.